headphone setup. The dog chewed my headphones, so I get to do this. And I hooked up Bluetooth and a bunch of other crap, and I'm hoping that it'll work. It works for recording videos and uploading them. I'm assuming, or rather I'm hoping, that it works for my broadcasting. We're about to find out real soon, aren't we? Okay, well, as you all know, we are locked down. Life can't go forward. And if you protest, they take your shit down. So what's there to do except to eat cake and play a fucking game, right? Oh boy, if only we had some guillotines, right? Do a little French Revolution action in this motherfucker. Oh well, it is what it is. So anyway, here I am in ESO. I made a solemn vow that if they ever put necromancers in the game, I would return. They put necromancers in the game. Thus, I have returned. And holy fuck, they've changed a lot about the game. And it is not the same in some ways now that I have returned. So, I get to, first of all, there's a lot of new shit, new skill lines. That makes me happy. Doing the Sigic hell grind, which doesn't make me happy. But I'll be glad when it's done. I'm not looking forward to doing this on my other main characters. There are still some aspects of this game that are effing grindy. I mean, it's nice that they added the ability to speed shit up like research if you want to switch characters. It sucks that it's going to cost you money if you want to do it fast, but what doesn't cost money nowadays, right? So, fuck it. I mean, if they could figure out how to make you... If companies could figure out how to charge you for the fucking air you breathe, they do it. I mean, look what's happening to water now. They're trying to monopolize water. It's the new blue oil, or blue gold is what a lot of these companies call it. Now they're against public access to water, But that's a whole political thing for another time. Right now we're dealing with enough bullshit with this COVID crap. So, now I've come back. Now that I've come back, I have been doing some research on the game, and I started reading the forums, because I've been out of gaming for a little bit. I've been dicking around, but now I'm seeing terms that being used in a way that I haven't seen in my 40 plus years of playing games. Oh yeah, they've been around. Video games have been around that long, and pencil and paper games have been around even longer for most of you young cubs out there. A lot of this shit didn't come around when you guys were born. No, actually, it was my generation, Gen X, that made this shit. So here we go. Game theory and theory crafting. Anybody worth their salt that's ever played Dungeons and Dragons, or most of us have learned a little bit about theory crafting. Okay, there's different ways that you go about it, different goals in role playing. You have different ways you would build your character than obviously online games. Online games have turned in from a cooperative to a competitive environment. So people are concerned with a different type of min-maxing. And that's what it is. It's theory crafting in its most crude form. It's absolutely most crude form, the form of min-max, okay? Because people don't understand what it is they're actually doing when they fucking min-max. I'm just gonna put that out there. People don't understand. They've they've taken the word metagaming, which means outside gaming. Meta is a prefix that means outside or away from. And when you metagame, you're not in the game. You're looking at the rules of the game. You're working on creating an effect in the game from outside of the game. The rules. That's what metagaming is. And a lot of power gaming and a lot of min-maxing and all that other shit came from metagaming. And now I'm hearing people ask, what is the meta? The meta. The meta? What do you mean the meta? You know, the what? That's the same thing as asking, what is everyone else doing or what is best? Idiots who don't know a fucking thing about how to do anything now have taken a phrase and they've created a slang out of it. The meta. You know, well, what's the meta in PvP? Et al. What is the best in PvP, or what is everybody using in PvP, or what is the most popular? When anyone with a fucking any shred of knowledge will tell you there's no such thing as best. Everything is counter for counter. Everything is situational. There is no best. There's different ways you can achieve. There are common ways. There are popular ways. Obviously. If there was a best, people wouldn't keep finding better as they do. You wouldn't see the DPS continue to raise. 50,000 DPS, 60,000 DPS. Games fucking 10 years. You know, you have 100,000 DPS with new theories that you know are coming out. There is no best. Somebody will always find a way to exceed what you're doing or negate what you're doing, no matter what you do. You know, what you need to figure out is what the fuck are you doing? You know, what are you trying to achieve with your fucking character? And what you're trying to achieve is a synergy. That's the whole point. I'm pretty sure many of you have heard the word synergy. And so I'm going to get into it. We're going to get into this. I'm going to teach you here. Morty the Mad is going to teach you the basics of fucking theory crafting right here in this video. Right here. That's what we're doing. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown, the fucking cliff notes on theory crafting, how it's done, okay? The point of it, what you're looking for. All right? Now you're looking to create a synergy. And there's different kinds of synergies. There's all kinds of different synergies. A synergy is a group of abilities that work well together for a specific goal. You know, they don't have to stack. Stacking and force multiplication is crude. It's absolutely the most crude form of synergy, of game theorizing synergy, but it's synergy and it's effective and it's what most people know how to do. They know how to stack. You know, they know how to add and multiply, or subtract and divide, and then stack modifiers. That's basically what everyone does, and they look for a way to stack as much damage in much time, or as much healing in as much time, or as much sturdiness in as much time as they can. And that's it. That's what most theory crafting is, and the terms that have evolved around it reflect that. And hit points per second, you know, healing, DPS, damage per second done, actions per second, actions per turn. You've got all kinds of these things, but they're all interchangeable, and that's what people don't understand. You know, there are formulas that you can build. There are advanced algebras that I'm not going to teach you yet, because this is just this video, and I don't have the rendering crap and the drawing crap to make the little cartoons to illustrate my points. You know, I have the artistic ability, I just don't have the tools or the money. So, you know, right now, I mean, if it turns out that that's something that people want later, and they put it in the comments, hey, I want a course on theory crafting and how to theory craft and how to min max and do shit, then fine, no, I'll do that. You know, pick a game. We'll go over it together, and I'll go over each and every point of every fucking build, you know, that we come up with, just stupid shit. So basically, you're looking for creating a type of synergy. Now, there's many different types of synergy. There's mathematical synergies, which is what's stacking. Mathematical, functional, and gimmicky. Those are the synergies that most people know how to do when theory crafting a build. Okay, they know what functions well together. Like slows function well with haste. A slow will cause um, your enemy to attack more slowly and put out less DPS, where a haste will allow you to attack more quickly, put out more DPS, increasing your actions per second, blah, blah, blah. It gets on, they know how to do that. They understand functional. You know, that's pretty much functional. Situation, where you have a proc, and that proc happens to pop off another effect. You can do that. Hell, in this game, you can do. There's sets that'll do that. The fucking Frozen Warden with Ice Furnace. Try combining those fuckers. I haven't seen anyone do it, but that'd be pretty interesting. For a build, if you wanted to make a block-based build. And there's plenty more. I was thinking about doing that with a Warden, actually a block-based AOE, nasty little Warden I was gonna do. That's one of the builds I'm gonna eventually get to once I finish researching all the crap that's changed. And I'll probably share it. Why not? Then I'll share the theory behind it and how the fuck I came up with it. And I'll explain it in detail. I'll explain every build I do in detail if I do a build and I put it up, if I'm so inclined. And that's also if I get all this, other shit that I need. And if I have enough subscribers to warrant that type of effort. Right now, I got 90 of you, and I'll talk to 90 of you, and I'll answer your questions, and I might pop a video up or do a reply. But let me get on with it. I'm kind of drifting off here. Okay, you got different kinds of synergy. I brought up mathematical, functional, situational. If you get stunned or whatever, an ability procs or something else procs, and that ability works with something else. Complementary, which was the speed and the slow that I told you about. That's a complementary synergy. There are selfish synergies that benefit only you. There are altruistic synergies that benefit you and other people's, or actually benefit other people more than you. There's thematic. Is it built around fire? Is it built around lightning? Is it built around disease? Are you using specific abilities and specific functional synergies within that theme to create a nice little character? And that's when you start moving more into role play, where you start getting into the thematic. You have parasitic types of synergy. You have symbiotic types of synergy. There are many different types of synergy that I could actually get into and define and tell you how to build. Synergies essentially serve to do one thing and one thing only. Okay? That is to create something called a gestalt. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. That's a gestalt. When you have two things that do something on their own, but when you put them together, they're even fucking stronger, that's a gestalt. And then I'll get into anti-fragility too. There's anti-fragile systems. That's something that not a lot of people know about, where if you the longer you beat on it, the stronger it gets. I call them masochistic builds. Builds that get stronger the more people attack it. You've seen some of those builds, I'm pretty sure, in Battlegrounds. That's an anti-fragile build. The key to that build is find out the lowest number of people that can attack it without causing it to surge, or without causing it to build. A lot of those types of builds can be defeated with one person doing the right thing. Some of them can't, but we'll get into that. That's an issue of game balance later on, and I'll get into game balance and that shit. But yeah. So the whole point of theory crafting with all of those different types of synergies is to create a gestalt, something that's stronger with all of the pieces put in it. than it would be without the pieces. And there are certain things that will create gestalts and certain things that won't. And that's what a lot of people think is imbalanced. There's always going to be a way to create a gestalt. No matter what anyone does, there's always going to be elements that work better together and create a gestalt. And the people that can't do it cry that something's unbalanced or overpowered or something. And that's because they're stupid. I mean, if you think of a game as a game balanced like a seesaw. Okay, now seesaws are pretty much balanced. They have to. They're one way or the other. It's balanced. You can lay a seesaw on the thing and it'll stay perfectly balanced. If you put a fucking fat kid on with a skinny kid, it's going to be unbalanced, right? And so what the game developers are trying to do is they figure, well, if we make one side of the seesaw longer, then it'll be perfectly balanced because we give the skinny kid leverage and the fat kid, and that'll be perfectly balanced because the fat kid, the guy who knows so much, who has all the time in the world, who's engorged himself on game mechanics, is perfectly balanced with skinny kid, the guy who don't the noob that doesn't know fucking anything, and we can have seesaw fun time. The problem comes when this happens. The fat kid figures out he can sit on the other side of the fucking seesaw. And then he gets that plus the leverage. And then the skinny kid has no fucking chance. Because all the mechanics that were put in to help the weaker player are the ones that are going to be used by the stronger player to synergize gestalts with. You see what I'm saying? Now, we'll get into game balance and how to mathematically achieve that someday in the future. Right now, you have to understand that because devs are always chasing this guaranteed outcome, they are going to put mechanics that you can abuse the shit out of. And I encourage it because I believe that people that try to balance a game around players instead of balance a game around math deserve to have their fucking game exploited. Okay? They deserve to. Balancing by gut instead of balancing by algorithm is shit. And that's all we see. Well, we think that blah, blah, blah. We feel that. We think and we feel. Especially we feel. Comes up a lot in game balance. But we're gonna get around that. So like I said, you have different kinds of gestalts. So one gestalt would be like I said, it would be a build around like if I wanted to create a block bot and I wanted to do damage while I was blocking, right? I wanted to do AoE damage while I was blocking, while I was trying to figure out if it was I would have a stam regen build or a quick stam build, a quick stam recovery build, stam pool build with this. And then, it's a standard stam build, but then you'd have Frozen Warden, Ice Furnace, and then you could, while you're attacking, synergize it with shields, right? Because Frozen Warden's a monster set. Ice Furnace would be, it adds damage to frozen damage when the shield, when Frozen Warden's shield kicks in. The frost damage it would do would kick Ice Furnace on and add the extra damage with Ice Furnace, so you get that nasty little bit. And it would get really sick if you decided to just simply, add a couple of other things, which I'm not going to tell you about because, well, I don't want it to get nerfed before I have fun with it. Okay? But you get the idea. That creates a gestalt. And that's the whole point of theory craft, is to create these gestalts, to create these sums of parts that work really well together and amplify each other's abilities. Not just the numbers, but the functions and enable more situational use, a wider adaptability to in-game variables, because the whole point of having a character is to be able to react to as many environmental variables as possible. The more environmental variables that a specific character can react to within its particular milieu, whether that be combat, trade skills, or whatever, the more fit that character is, the more powerful it is, obviously. So that's it. That's it in a nutshell. That's the goal when you when you min max. That's it. So where am I? Right now I'm doing the Sigic Hellfest. Where the fuck am I? So I'm grinding the Sigic mission. That's no fun. All right, so I am. Where am I? I'm over here. So that puts me here. So I think I got that one. So we'll check that one. Hopefully I didn't miss any of these fucking things. Wait, where's that fucking thing again? Damn, okay, it's right above the tower there. Okay. Wait a minute, am I looking at the right thing? I might not be looking at the right. Okay, no, there it is. Okay, got that. Did I get that one? Doesn't look like I got that one. I don't think I got that one. Okay, well let's go back there and check that. Yeah, I was sleepy. I started passing out when I finished last night. It was rough. Oh, and the last time I streamed, I was right. They nerfed experience from the Dolomens. So the Dolomens are not the fastest way to get EXP anymore, unless you're hunting a Dolomen where there's not a lot of people, and you can get 11, 12,000 EXP per. It's not the quickest way, especially if you're a newer player and you don't have any gear. It is the easiest way. It is still the easiest way, though. If you've got no... I knew it. I didn't get this one. If you've got no game whatsoever, you just logged on and you want to hurry up and get your quick 20 levels, then I would say you go. If you're an older player, you know the Dolomen circuits. If you're a newer player, you can look them up. I'm pretty sure they're online somewhere. I was doing the Oregon circuit last time, so we got that, and I'm level 49 now. I did that last week.
Over here.
So I've been on this character 3 or 4 days.
Okay, help me, but I loathe skeepers.
I can start digging into my gear and see what I got. Son of a bitch. Alright, well, okay, no, what's this? I'm over here. Location. Let's see if I can see a picture of where this shit would be. First, I have no idea what the fuck I am. I have been out of the game for so long that I do not remember shit about Dick at all. Okay, I'm in Leucrata at Old Calgon's Keep. Calgon, take me away! Yeah, it's only funny if you're as old as I am. Let's see. Okay, so Old Calgon's Keep. Chapel Crib, Christian. Where is Breach? On top of the Trader's Rest. Sanguine Barrows. Leucrata, that's where I am. It's wait, what's what? Hang on. Okay, so the bottom. Okay, Breach 6. So it's over there. Okay. Stairs. Stairs. Probably up where that effing. Oh, hello. What's that? That's good. But yeah, so I've been doing this grind before I do the main storyline, just to get I want to do the Sigic skills. What the hell is that? Come on now. It's around here somewhere. It's got to be in there somewhere. Yeah, it's got to be in there somewhere. Okay. At least. I wish I'd download an add. My add-ons are all out of date. They're way out of date. I'm not doing so hot. I'm eventually just gonna have to buckle down and get some new add-ons. But right now, I've just been kind of lazy. I've been studying all the changes to the gear sets. There's a lot of effing changes. Some of the changes I don't like, but I've been looking at a Pop Goes the Weasel build. That's one I might post. It's going to be really fucking annoying in PvP. It's like playing whack-a-mole. You know, you think it's dead, and then poof, all kinds of shit happens. Phoenix is still useful. Combine that with Juggernaut and a couple of other things, and you've got a Pop Goes the Weasel build. I'm not going to give you the sturdiness factor because again, I don't want it nerfed before I get to play with it. You're going to notice that that's a theme. Because what will happen is you always get these fuckers that will go on forums, ask for the best, and then they'll go around and wave your dick around until it gets cut off. You share your builds, and then they're fucking assholes with the builds, and real fucking loud brag, douchebag braggarts. And next thing you know, your build gets fucking nerfed. You gotta relearn new mechs. And everything just stays in fucking flux, constantly changing. And it's a pain in the ass. You know, when you finally work out a build and it's beautiful and it's elegant and it's authentic and it covers all kinds of different variables, and you've done it to set yourself ahead. Because you should be able to. It shouldn't just be Twitch. You know, it should be mentality too. In a virtual environment, there's only two things that separate the fitness. Well, actually, three variables that separate the fitness of organisms within that electronic environment. That is the speed of their connection, the power of their computer, the speed of their connection, the speed of their reflexes, and the intelligence, how well they understand and can operate within the game. Right now, everyone's focused on computer and Twitch because not everyone can be smart, but everyone can be relatively agile, even though some people can't be super agile. That's why everyone will argue for their particular slice that they think is fair for everyone else except them. You know, people that have all the time with no money will argue for things to be, well, you know, it should all be time-based because they know they have more time than anyone else. People with more money and no time will argue for things that can be purchased because they spend their time outside of game and they believe money is time anyway. But the problem is people don't earn the same. So what's 10 hours for someone may be 10 minutes for someone else. You know, and you get things like this. Everyone is going to have a confirmation bias, and they're going to argue for their particular little thing that they can slip past the fucking DM. It's been that way since pencil and paper. It's going to be that way until the end of fucking time. And developers are a bunch of cucks with no fucking spine that don't know how to tell the children no. And come up with their own balance and say, this is the mathematical balance. These are the numbers. This is why the numbers exist. This is the paradigm you're operating in. We're not going to keep changing the fucking rules for expansion because we've got the algorithm down. We're just simply going to add more stuff, more variables, more environments with different variables for you to conquer, different things for those environments, until eventually there's so much shit You can either be a generally decent at all of them, or a fucking god in another. You know, you'll be a god in, like, say, a lava environment, but everywhere else you suck. You know, or you have to have tools, and you can select to be good in a few environments with some equipment and other retooling. But you'll then be limited by storage space. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways to figure out how to balance this and determine, you know, how many variables you want to allow your players to access, how often you want them to change, you know, to be able to change the variables that their characters can encounter and overcome, or whether they need to roll a whole another character. You know, can it be contained within one character with a swap, or do they have to have other characters to do each particular role? And the problem is, a lot of games don't know what the fuck they want to be. They don't know how they want to do it. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing. And it shows. And personally, I don't know what the fuck to do to solve it, because too many people are worried. You know, the people cry, "Oh, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna take my money. I'm gonna leave." Yeah, they're gonna leave. They're not gonna fucking leave. If you've got the only game in town that allows certain things, and you have certain features that no other games fucking have, and you have a fucking a good idea of how you're gonna fucking make that distinction. I remember when Coke changed its flavors. Coke changed its flavors a bunch of times, right? And a lot of people bitched, "Oh, we're gonna leave. We're gonna leave." Yeah, they're gonna leave when they remove cocaine from the Coke. They're still there. Oh, they're gonna leave when they take sugar and turn it to corn syrup, which tastes entirely fucking different. They're still there. Oh, they're gonna leave with new Coke, right? Nope, they're still there. Except now they split their market. Some people like new Coke. Some people like the so-called original flavor, which isn't the original flavor. Still, last time I checked, there's about as many people that like Coke as like Pepsi. There's a few people that like Royal Crown, RC Cola.
You there, please.
You know, and you have it distributed like that, and you break the market, but you still have the two giants, Pepsi and Coke, in the United States, and that's basically, you know, your choices. Pepsi or Coke. Pepsi products or Coke products. Pepsi has an orange. Coke has an orange. It's that. You hear people complain they're not going to buy it all the time. Still, I see people drinking the shit. No, you need to be solid in what you're offering as a game developer, and you need to stand by your fucking guns. And the problem is, people don't stand by their fucking guns. We've got this fucking epidemic of expansions turning into fully fledged different games with fully fledged different game mechanics, where everything's different. You buy one thing and 30 years later it's a different thing, and unfortunately that's a trend in all kinds of products, because people are trying to make money. What they don't realize is, if you create a system that's fucking dynamic, where every day you have new variables added in, balanced by an equation that doesn't change with environments that do change, the players can make the fun themselves, you know. And then you have to be absolutely certain as to what kinds of players you want, because no matter what you do, you're never going to get them all to agree on the same mechanic, ever. PvPers don't like the same mechanics PvEers do. Everybody fucking knows this. It's a fucking fact. You can't have a PvE game that is completely satisfying to PvEers and still have it be completely satisfying to PvPers, because people don't like to lose. And if you create a situation where people that are smarter, quicker, or whatever can use rules that are you know, consistent, there's going to be winners and there's going to be losers. And the losers are going to be the slow, stupid ones. And that's not going to change, right? I think the losers should be the slow, stupid ones. Well, the slow, stupid ones still lose anyway. You know, but now you start shifting. You shift the bell curve over, and so now people who were normally the median are now in the same position as the slow, stupid ones, and I don't agree with that. And you create that unbalanced seesaw where the people that are really good get at it first, get a situation, get a monopoly, and the monopoly can't be broken. They get ahead, you know, and they stay ahead. And that kills fucking games. Because the moment you get that elite, they get cocky, they get nasty, they get toxic, they belittle other players because they're the shit. Their position isn't threatened, you know? And games begin to die that way. These are where these toxic populations come from, you know? And developers haven't fucking caught on to this shit. I got no idea why. It seems pretty commonsensical to me, doesn't it? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, I don't know. You get all kinds of shit. Uh, but as for synergies, let's get back to that. I mean, you've got all kinds of different types of builds you can do. People are too busy worried about DPS, FPS. I wanted to eat. God damn it, shit. Like not a lot of people are worried about front-loaded damage versus rear-loaded damage, and most of them probably don't even know the difference. And you hear stuff about sustain and burst, and most people don't truly understand what the fuck they're doing with that. In the same way that people truly don't understand that the reason for trying to create a synergy is that you're trying to create a gestalt. That the gestalt is the final product of the synergy. You know? So they don't understand what their fucking terms. And especially when you get people that aren't theory crafters and they've figured out that meta means better than what they have. And some of the things that they hear in terms of meta, when you're talking about a particular game meta, a rules usage, then being freaking equated to a character build, you know, instead of a combination of rules or a situation. That's just, and then it becomes code for what is best, and that's how people look at it, and it distorts the conversation. It distorts the ability to discern and define. You know, kind of like this whole, you know, they, them, this, the loss of pronouns, so that now you have ambiguities in the language because people are too offended when you say he, she, or it. You know, because it hurts little people's fucking feelings. So now, you know, you have to eliminate all possible indicators of who and what. Like one of these days, we'll get into a deeper discussion of that. That's a whole different topic. But that's the thing, is it creates ambiguities. Ambiguities create errors and fuck-ups and distortions. And then next thing you know, builds aren't what they think. But, you know, that's just entropy. You know, it just sucks. RPGs, in an attempt to include everybody, have become something entirely different. I'm pretty sure that we have some people that might have played EverQuest or Meridian 59 or Ultima Online. Ultima Online is probably when it really started to get bad, because you had full PvP and you had different players that just wanted to come. That's when you had the big MUDs and UOs, where you had that big influx of reefers of what I like to say to term as person shooter players. They approach it like a first person shooter. Right? If a hammer is the only thing you got in your toolbox, and everything else is looking kind of like a nail, isn't it? And it's going to be used and beat like a nail. But that's the problem. And there's nothing wrong with first-person shooting. Nothing wrong with that kind of gameplay in that gameplay setting. But first-person shooters and games that require that kind of mentality are entirely different animals, entirely different beasts than these games. And they require different sensibilities, different types of rules, different types of balance. I hate to say it, but they do. Different games require different types of balance, which require different types of algorithms. And when you try to combine all these fucking things into one fucking game, you're going to have players that are at each other's throats. You're going to have rules that people like get changed in favor of rules that they don't like but other people like, and you have this continual shifting of rules and regulations and items and things where people get things they love taken away. People, because other people don't love those things or don't know how to adapt to those things, because you've got a bunch of big stupids that don't like to lose and can't figure out how to fucking adapt. I hate to say it. It's the truth. Now, I'm not the best player, and I get my ass kicked a fair amount, but I also do a lot of kicking. I kicked enough ass in my time, too. It's not about it. For me, what's fun is exploring the game. I'm one of those people, I'm one of the 4% that's an actual theory crap. I hate to say it, I am. If you want to know my Bartle type, it's AEK. Achiever, Explorer. I like direction. And I like exploring game mechanics to find different ways to fuck with shit. I do. That's where I get my jollies. I love theme builds. I love weird builds. I love all kinds of stuff. And I come up with wacky shit, that surprises people. And I promptly get nerfed for it. And I hate it. And so I rarely share my fucking builds because I'm always getting nerfed. I've been getting nerfed for the past 30 fucking years. And I hate it. You have something beautiful, something elegant, something that works well, something that, is fun. And because some other chode can't fucking handle it, can't adapt to it, can't figure out its weakness, because there is one. Everything has a fucking Achilles heel. Every gimmick has an anti-gimmick. I promise you. There's a way to kill everything. If it can be player made, it can be player destroyed. Because those people cannot deal. I have to game. The entire world has to change. So we got a whole crop of people that have the idea that if they cry loud enough, the entire world will change to suit them. Not only in game, but in real life. And if you're perfectly honest, I'm not feeding you any shit. I'm telling you the truth. Did I grab it? I don't know. It's that way, and that's the problem with our society. Frankly speaking, is this attitude of entitlement, while on the same time thinking they're on a moral high horse. They know so much, they're so much better, and they're going to tell you what to do, and if you don't do it, they're going to cry and say you're a victim, you're a bigot, you're this, you're that, because you don't see eye to eye, and their way is the only way, and that's the only way. And you get a lot of this. And the funny thing is, it comes from people that call themselves liberal. I'm a libertarian, okay? I believe that nobody should be telling anybody what to do. I'm almost anarchistic. And what I think is funny is that the people that call themselves anarchists are so fucking tribal that they operate under these double standards where they oppose one government, one form of government, but not the other tyrannical form of government because it's their tyrannical form of government, right? Where I hate all of you motherfuckers because all of you were trying to tell me what to do, and I ain't having it, right? It's ridiculous. We got these people that are standing behind corporations censoring your fucking free speech, telling you that you can't say you're not happy about being, sequestered. Well, it's for the good of everybody. Really? I last time I checked, I thought my body was my choice. So you mean to tell me it's okay to kill a baby, but not okay to go out and risk getting sick if I want to? You're going to tell me what to do with my body. It's okay for me for someone to kill a baby, but it's okay to enslave a person who helped make that baby for 18 years of their life, because which is it, you know? Because as far as I'm concerned, child support is a my body, my choice issue too. Except they're stealing your time. If you don't have any say about whether that child's aborted or not, then no woman should have any say over whether they get your fucking money or not. Right? There's so many fucking double standards in this fucking country right now. And it pisses me off. And it filters all the way down to gaming. So many double standards from design point perspective, from design philosophy, design implementation. People don't understand what the fuck they're doing now. I'm living in a time when cognitive dissonance is at an all-time high. I moved out to the country, man. I mean, I got away from all the wackiness. I'm just gonna tell you that. And I'm still stuck in this house. Still stuck in this fucking house. And then we're looking at because of all this bullshit. I love this shit with COVID, right? This whole thing with the virus that came from China. Oh, don't call it a Chinese virus. Well, we've been calling viruses what they came from, where they came from since the dawn of fucking time. Where do you think the name Ebola came? It came from the fucking Ebola River. Spanish flu, anyone? You know? But no. SARS and MERS also. Those are acronyms. But yeah. But now because you got the whole news ragging on Trump that Trump's xenophobic and he was hateful, saying it was China's fault and closing the borders was tyrannical, right? And that he acted late. He was the one talking about closing borders since I don't know whenever, but now the news is saying that he didn't handle it. That he wasn't doing what he could to shut it down, when he was the only one that was saying keep the fucking shit out, But I love how everything flip flops. It's a double standard, and people ignore this because it's the enemy tribe, and they're the first ones to call out fucking tribalism, except when it applies to them. But fuck me. All right. I don't know. I don't see a lot of good coming from all this fucking shit. I fully expect a war between fucking China and the U.S. China's been flexing on us
Maybe we
for a
should leave
long
this one
time.
be,
I mean,
Honestly,
they've been knocked.
what's the worst that could happen?
They've been
Wait,
attacking our
I'm not
internet,
encouraging
stealing
you
our
to ask
shit.
me that question. The answer is very graphic.
But because because they're the enemy of an enemy tribe, you're going to go and think they're your friend. They're not your friend. Because when they're done with your countrymen that you call your enemy tribe, they're coming for you. All this is a schoolyard fucking scuffle with kindergartners thinking that they're going to get some high schoolers in on it. And the high schooler want all the kids off the fucking playground.
Your timing is
So they're gonna play sides. Not a problem. Get rid of one side eventually. You can get rid of the other. It's all about divide and conquer. Minimize the numbers. Right now we're suffering a tyranny of the minority. A bunch of people that are so offended because they were on the outs that now they got to. They're the bullies that they claim claim to be bullied by. They've become what they've complained about, and I'm seeing it. You know, I'm watching this. Where the hell is this? Oh God, this Sigic quest I hate so much. I hate it. I really, 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 really hate it. Okay, I went there. I gotta go over here. Oh, it's over here. Well, shit. It's out here. Okay. Ah. So basically, I got a shelter in fucking place. Even though I'm in Maine, and even though my county is one of the few counties in the United States where there hasn't been a verified fucking case. They say it's not. And they're like, well, you know, it's because your county isn't testing. Really? If that was the case, then the hospitals would be jam-packed because people would still be sick. Nobody's getting sick. This has been going on for over a month. Nobody's been sick. Nobody's died. Because the moment you go sick with COVID-like systems, they test you. Because they have to. We've got the stuff here. No. People just haven't been sick. But I love how everyone's using this fear, you know. You better watch out or the boogeyman's going to get you. You better watch out or the COVID's going to get you. You're going to die fucking sometime, man. Serious. Chill the fuck out. Right now, COVID has a death rate still less than the cold. It's affected a fraction of the population. Sure, I mean, I'm in the high risk group. I got diabetes, so if I get it, I'm fucked, right? I got no spleen. I'm a fucked motherfucker if I get it.
What is full of brain delays.
But
little spirit jellies extinct.
saying you want to burn down the village to save it,
Think of that
you know, we got to destroy the economy to save a fraction of the population. It's fucking stupid. And that's the kind of thinking. Well, you know, a fraction of the population is offended, so we got to change everything. We got to change our whole fucking language. Because 4.8% of the fucking population is offended. We got to change our entire fucking culture. Because 4.8% of the fucking population is offended. And 21.3% are such self-hating fuckers that they agree with them. It's pathological. Absolutely pathological. It's sickening. And it's going to kill the society. When we're weak, don't you think an enemy power isn't going to think about fucking trying to take a bite? Right now, there are resource wars going on because globalism has failed. All of the, we'll avoid war by making everyone dependent upon each other. That shit breaks down when you have a global pandemic and you need fucking masks and one country's producing them and you have a virus that spreads like wildfire created by those same people in a lab that kills some motherfuckers in a very nasty way, but it's very contagious. It has a high penetration rate. And those fuckers then say, Yeah, we know you paid for the masks and you paid to produce them and you're paying the labor and all that shit, but we're keeping those masks. We're going to turn that ship around. Your people can fucking die. Fuck you. Have a nice day. Thank you very much. Right? If our people would have had the jobs making those masks, our people would have had more masks. The globalism doesn't work. Each country should be self-sufficient. I'm sorry. Each country should be completely self-sufficient, a self-contained economy with a few unique goods to trade, instead of trying to create this mutually assured destruction bullshit on an economic scale. Because when one fucking country gets nuked, they all get nuked. They're all fucked. That's the problem with mutually assured destruction. Works with nuclear weapons, doesn't work with economy, okay? Because a lot of people at the top don't see economics in the same way that they view nuclear weapons. They don't understand that a bank is basically a fucking nuke for money. Misuse the fucking bank and that fucker goes off, you'll nuke the whole fucking economy. That's because people aren't taught. They're too busy being taught shit that doesn't make a difference. Fuck being able to balance your checkbook. You gotta learn what pronouns 4.8% of the fucking population get upset about, so you don't upset people. Fuck. You know? That's that. And it's nice being on a stream where I can say whatever the fuck I want and I'm not making any money. I don't have to watch what I say. That's one thing YouTube hasn't figured out. Their adpocalypse, they had more control when they were paying people than when they didn't. And now they got to keep banning people, you know. But that's not going to stop anything. And if they're not careful, what's going to happen is when you have a tyrannical control over a large system, you'll start getting like a LimeWire for video, or you'll start getting, you know, these different platforms. You're going to create a need, and that's going to create competition. You know, I'm surprised people aren't fucking suing people. The government's saying, well, you need to shut these people down because they're expressing their free speech on a platform that's become the commons, you know, in this internet instant information age. Hello. That's what happened on that works for me. Okay. The world war. Quite damn. Very steady. So we got Dark Strike. This is plus. Nice little bit of EXP there. I think and EXP. Be happy. World bosses are probably the way to go instead of Dolomens, honestly. You get more now for world bosses than Dolomens. If I were to say leveling fast, world bosses are probably the way. You get better EXP, and honestly you get better loot too. But yeah, I mean there's a lot of stuff. Another thing I like about this, I'm going full stream of consciousness. I don't have any ideas of what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do. I just going off the bounce. And the cool thing is, the stream will be saved, so that gets added to videos that people can watch later if they want to. They might not. You know, we'll see. But yeah, that's all the crap I've been thinking. So some of the crap I've been thinking about while I've been stuck in the house, shelter in place bullshit. All because people are fucked. All right, where the hell? Okay, I'm over. I hate this question. No, I can't explain how much I hate this question. All right, oh, I don't want to find blah blah. Fuck. Okay, I will. Find Duran. Find Duran. Okay, where is Duran? He's around here somewhere. Then I gotta find the auger. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing some ESO.
Hello. Bad news. Has something happened to my wife? To poor Nadafa? Well, spit it out. Yes. You're right. I know you're right. I need to think.
Oh, yeah, it's beat. Actually, wait a minute. Let's see if I can shag. Count the steel? Yeah, I count the steel. See if there's any more steel in the cars. Nope, okay. Yeah. Board is... At least we're living in an age where we don't just have to, like, sit and jerk ourselves off, you know, for entertainment. Or we can actually do different things. And, we can talk, we can explore virtual worlds, you know. All kinds of groovy stuff. I'm missing something. Okay, that's why. Lagra's Pearl. Go right when you get to the ship. You'll find the breach inside the captain's quarters. All right. I'm your captain. Your captain. And I'm feeling mighty sick. Won't you help me? Won't you help me get a hottie? It rhymes with sick. I don't know what they're censoring now and what they're doing. You can't say what you want anymore because people get offended at that shit. Even I have to be careful, which sucks. Really sucks. Because people can't be responsible for their own feelings. Like right now, I'm going to do a cardinal sin that most people in ESO hate. I'm going to do it because I can. See that? I did not loot that chest. That's my middle finger. If they put loot that I'd want, I'd loot it all. If it's not good loot, I'm not fucking looting it. If you don't fucking like it, complain to the developers. People aren't completely looting the chest because your loot fucking sucks. Stop putting in sucky loot. Alright. Alright. Counts for Pirate Law. Probably from another quest. I'll deal with that later. But yeah. That's what we got. Eventually when I get some how much time left? I got half a level. Probably the next time I'm on, you'll see a rudimentary build. Something that's ooh. Boop. I'm your captain. Another chest. It's gonna have shit. Good source of EXP though. So, yep, shit. It's a waste of fucking space in my opinion.
Burn it!
Space. want me to loot it all? They'll give me a bigger inventory. Well, I hate to cut this short, Pete. It sounds like I've got a phone call. I've got to let you guys go. All right. Peace out.